Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, late for a big meeting, your phone's buzzing with a dozen unread emails, and your coffee just spilled all over your lap. Your heart's racing, your fists are clenched, and you're yelling at the car in front of you like that's going to make it move faster. Sound familiar? We've all been there, caught in the whirlwind of stress, anger, and anxiety, desperately trying to control every little thing. You're pushing, forcing, grinding, hustling harder than a squirrel hoarding nuts for a nuclear winter. But what if I told you there's a better way? What if, instead of fighting the chaos, you could ride it like a wave, effortlessly gliding toward your goals? Welcome, friends, to a wild, eye-opening journey into the art of not trying. Achieve everything you want effortlessly. Today, we're tossing the hustle playbook out the window and diving into an ancient secret from the East, Wu Wei, the philosophy of effortless action. It's a radical idea that says, hey, stop arm wrestling the universe. Sometimes doing less gets you more. Buckle up, because we're about to explore how this gem of wisdom from ancient sages, paired with modern insights, can transform your lifeless stress, less struggle, more wins, and maybe even a few laughs along the way. Let's set the scene. It's Monday morning, and your to-do list is longer than a CVS receipt. You've got deadlines breathing down your neck, a boss asking for that report yesterday, and a sink full of dishes that's starting to look like a modern art installation. You're in overdrive chugging energy drinks, multitasking like a circus juggler, and telling yourself, if I just try harder, I'll get it all done. But by the end of the day, you're exhausted, your inbox is still a war zone, and you're wondering why life feels like a treadmill set to sprint. We've been sold this idea, right? The American dream on steroids. Work hard, hustle harder, and success will follow. It's the mantra of motivational poster grit. Grind, go. But here's the kicker. What if all that pushing and shoving is actually holding you back? What if, in the middle of all that chaos, the secret to getting what you want isn't about trying harder, but trying less? I know it sounds like a bumper sticker for slackers. Do less, win more. But stick with me here. This isn't about kicking back with a bag of chips and letting life pass you by. It's about a smarter, smoother way to move through the world. Imagine you're kayaking down a river. You could paddle like a maniac, fighting every current, splashing water everywhere, and exhausting yourself. Or you could read the flow, steer gently, and let the river do the heavy lifting. That, my friends, is the magic of Wu Wei effortless action, a principle from ancient Eastern philosophy that's about to blow your mind. Let's paint another picture. You're in a heated argument with your best friend. Words are flying, tempers are flaring, and you're trying to win, pounding your point home like a lawyer in a courtroom drama. But the harder you push, the worse it gets. You're both red-faced, and nobody's listening. Now imagine you take a breath, step back, and just let it be. Suddenly, the tension eases, and a solution creeps in like a quiet guest. That's the paradox of effort. Sometimes, the more you force it, the messier it gets. And sometimes, when you loosen your grip, everything falls into place. We're conditioned to think effort equals results. More hours, more sweat, more coffee boom, success. But how often does that leave us burned out, stressed out, and still miles from the finish line? The truth is, life's not a wrestling match. You don't have to pin every problem to the mat. So, what if there's a wiser way? A path where you achieve your dreams not by bulldozing through obstacles, but by dancing around them with grace? That's where our journey begins, and it's rooted in the genius of ancient thinkers who figured this out thousands of years ago. So, what the heck is Wu Wei? It's a term from Daoist philosophy, born in the misty mountains and serene temples of ancient China. Wu Wei literally means non-action, or not doing, but don't let that fool you. It's not about sitting on your couch, binge-watching reality television, and hoping your goals magically appear. No, Wu Wei is deeper, subtler, and way cooler than that. It's the art of aligning your actions with the natural flow of life, moving with the universe instead of arm wrestling it. Let's go back in time back to ancient China, where wise sages like Lao Tzu wandered through bamboo forests, pondering the secrets of existence. Lao Tzu, the legendary author of the Tao Te Ching, dropped some serious wisdom bombs about Wu Wei. In chapter 37 he writes, The Tao never does anything, yet through it, all things are done. Mind-blowing, right? It's like saying the universe is a master chef, cooking up galaxies and sunsets without breaking a sweat. Lao Tzu's point: when you sync up with the Tao way of the universe, things happen naturally, smoothly, effortlessly. Think of it like this. You're at a dance party. You could stomp around, forcing every step, bumping into people, and looking like you're fighting the music. Or you could feel the beat, sway with the rhythm, and glide across the floor like you were born to dance. Wu Wei is that second option, finding the groove of life and moving with it. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing, at the right time, with the right energy. Lao Tzu wasn't the only one singing Wu Wei's praises. Over in Japan, Zen Buddhism picked up the baton and ran with it. Zen masters, with their calm vibes and minimalist robes, taught a similar vibe through practices like shikantazaja sitting. No, not just sitting, like you're waiting for a bus. It's a radical act of being sitting still, breathing, observing, and letting the moment unfold without chasing after thoughts or goals. You're not trying to become a Zen superhero, you're just being. And in that stillness, something profound happens. Clarity, peace, and a sense of connection to everything. Even across the Himalayas, in ancient India, the Bhagavad Gita echoes this wisdom. Lord Krishna tells the warrior Arjuna about nishkama karma action without attachment to results. Sound familiar? It's Wu Wei in a different outfit. Do your part, give your best, but don't clutch the outcome like it's the last donut in the box. These philosophies, from China to Japan to India, weave a golden thread. Sometimes the greatest power lies in letting go, in trusting the flow, in not trying so darn hard. Let's bring it home. Ever try to unscrew a stubborn jar lid? You twist and grunt, your face turning red, veins popping, until you're ready to chuck it out the window. Then, someone strolls by, gives it a gentle tap, and pop! It opens. That's Wu Wei in a nutshell. Less force, more finesse. The ancients knew it, and they're inviting us to learn it too. So, how does this fit into our crazy modern lives? Stick around, because this is about to get real. Alright, let's get practical. Wu Wei isn't just some dusty philosophy for bearded sages in robes. It's a living, breathing approach you can use right now, whether you're tackling a work project, navigating a family drama, or just trying to survive a Monday. It's about aligned action, knowing when to step up and when to step back, when to push and when to pause. Think of it as conducting a symphony. You don't play every instrument yourself, but you guide the music, letting each note hit at the perfect moment. Let's break it down with a story. Meet Sarah, a 30-something graphic designer with a deadline looming like a storm cloud. She's got a big client presentation in 2 days, and her sketches are a mess. Her instinct? Panic. Stay up all night, chug coffee, and force those designs out like she's squeezing toothpaste from an empty tube. But Sarah's been here before, burned out, bleary-eyed, and still unhappy with the results. This time, she tries something wild. She takes a deep breath, closes her laptop, and goes for a walk. The trees sway, the breeze whispers, and suddenly, a spark of inspiration hits. She sketches a rough idea on her phone, comes back refreshed, and nails the design in half the time. That's Wu Wei stepping back to leap forward, aligning with the moment instead of fighting it. Lao Tzu would have given Sarah a high five. He said, "By letting it go, it all gets done." Sounds crazy, right? But think about the last time you tried to force something. Maybe you were arguing with your teenager, determined to make them see your point. You raised your voice, laid down the law, and crickets. They shut down and you're both fuming. Now, imagine you'd paused, taken a breath, and listened. Maybe you'd have found common ground, or at least kept the peace. That's the symphony of aligned action, tuning into the rhythm of the situation, not blasting your own tune. Here's another angle. Ever watch a martial artist in action? They're not throwing wild haymakers like a kid in a pillow fight. A master of, say, Aikido waits, poised and calm. When the opponent lunges, they don't push back with brute force. They redirect the energy, using the attacker's momentum to flip the script. Literally, It's efficient, elegant, and downright cool. That's Wu Wei, acting in harmony with what's coming at you, not wrestling it to the ground. Now, let's flip to the modern world. Engineers designing race cars don't just slap on a bigger engine and call it a day. They streamline the shape, cut the drag, and let the car slice through the air like a hot knife through butter. More speed, less fuel, less strain. You can do the same in life. Got a big goal? Don't bulldoze your way there. Study the terrain. Find the path of least resistance and move with the flow. Maybe that means delegating a task at work instead of micromanaging, or letting a conversation unfold naturally instead of forcing your agenda. It's not lazy, it's strategic, smart, and surprisingly effective. The beauty of Wu Wei is its flexibility. It's not a rigid rulebook, it's a mindset. You're not abandoning effort, you're refining it. You're still in the game, but you're playing smarter, not harder. So, next time you're stressed, angry, or spiraling, ask yourself, am I fighting the current or riding it? The answer might just change everything. Now, let's dive into one of the coolest parts of Wu Wei, the water metaphor. Lao Tzu, that wise old genius, was obsessed with water. He saw it as the ultimate teacher, and once you hear this, you'll never look at a river or a raindrop the same way again. In the Tao Te Ching, he writes, "Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it." Take a second to let that sink in. Water soft, gentle, unassuming can carve canyons, wear down mountains, and shape the earth itself. How? Not by brute force, but by flowing, adapting, persisting. Picture a river winding through a valley. It doesn't charge at a boulder like a linebacker yelling, "Get out of my way!" No, it glides around it, under it, over it, finding the path of least resistance. Over years, that gentle flow reshapes the landscape, carving paths we can't even imagine. That's Wu Wei in action. Not resisting, not forcing, but moving with patience and purpose. It's soft, yet unstoppable. Humble, yet powerful. Let's tell a story. Meet Jake, a guy who's been trying to land a promotion for months. He's been grinding, working late, kissing up to the boss, stressing himself into a pretzel. But the harder he tries, the more he stumbles, missed deadlines, tense meetings, and a boss who's still not impressed. One day, Jake's had it. He takes a lunch break, sits by a creek near his office, and watches the water trickle over rocks. It hits him. The water doesn't fight the stones, it flows around them. So, Jake shifts gears. He stops pushing so hard, focuses on doing his best work, and lets his results speak. He listens to his team, adapts to feedback, and boom, 3 months later, the promotion lands in his lap. Jake became like water, flexible, persistent, and quietly powerful. Lao Tzu's water metaphor teaches us resilience, but not the kind we're used to. We think resilience is grit clenching your teeth, powering through, being tough. But water shows us a better way. It bends, it shifts, it takes the shape of any container yet never loses its essence. Drop it in a cup, it's a drink. Unleash it as a tsunami, it's a force. In life, that's true strength. Adapting to setbacks, flowing around obstacles, and keeping your core intact. Think about the last time you faced a roadblock. Maybe your car broke down or a project tanked. Did you freak out, bang your head against the wall and try to force a fix? Or did you take a breath, assess the situation, and find a new path? Water doesn't stop at a rock. It finds a way. You can too. Lose your job? Don't panic, flow toward a new opportunity. Fight with your partner? Don't force a win, listen. Adapt and let understanding emerge. Water's power isn't loud or flashy. It's steady, gentle, and game-changing. Here's the funny part. We're made of water, about 60% of us. So, in a way, Wu Wei is in our DNA. We just forgot how to tap into it. Next time you're stressed, channel your inner stream. Don't bash the boulder. Flow around it. Don't rush the process. Trust the journey. Lao Tzu's betting on you, and I am too. Water's been shaping the world for billions of years. Maybe it's time to let it shape your life. Okay, let's fast forward from ancient China to the 20th century, where science and philosophy do a fist bump. Enter Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, saying that 5 times fast. This psychologist, a pioneer in positive psychology, gave us the concept of the flow state, and it's like Wu Wei's modern cousin. Flow is that magical zone where you're so immersed in what you're doing, the world fades away. Time warps, stress vanishes, and you're just in it. Ever lost yourself in painting, running, or even a great conversation? That's flow, baby. Csikszentmihalyi described flow as a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience is so enjoyable that people will do it even at great cost, for the sheer sake of doing it. Sound familiar? It's Wu Wei in a lab coat. Both ideas are about effortlessness. Not zero effort, but the kind where strain disappears because you're perfectly aligned with the moment. You're not fighting the task, you're dancing with it. Let's paint a picture. Meet Mia, a writer with a novel deadline. She's been staring at a blank screen, anxiety creeping in like fog. She's forcing words, deleting them and spiraling. Then, one evening, she lights a candle, plays some chill music, and just starts typing, letting ideas spill out without judgment. Hours fly by, the story flows, and she's grinning ear to ear. Mia's in the flow state, and it's Wu Wei in action. No forcing, just flowing. Her skills match the challenge, her focus is laser sharp, and her ego takes a nap. The result? A killer chapter and a happy heart. Here's the overlap. In flow, you're glued to the present now, worrying about yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's bills. Wu Wei says the same. Move with the now, unburdened by past or future. Both need balance. Flow happens when a task isn't too easy, boring, or too hard. Panic. Wu Wei calls this aligned action. Acting in harmony with your environment, not overreaching or slacking off. And here's the wild part. Both dissolve the self. In flow, you're not Mia the writer stressing out. You're the writing itself. In Wu Wei, you merge with the Tao, becoming part of life's big, beautiful dance. Science backs this up. Flow boosts creativity, productivity, and even well-being. Athletes break records, artists craft masterpieces, and coders solve impossible bugs in this effortless zone. Csikszentmihalyi's research echoes Lao Tzu's intuition. True excellence comes not from grinding your gears, but from syncing with the rhythm. Ever had a day where everything clicked? You nailed that presentation, aced a workout, and even made dinner without burning the house down. That's flow, and it's Wu Wei wearing sneakers and a smartwatch. Here's a funny twist. We chase flow without knowing it. You're not thinking, gotta get in the zone, when you're lost in a video game or a good book. It just happens. So, why not lean into it? Next time you're stressed, don't force the fix. Find your rhythm, maybe a walk, a deep breath, or a task you love, and let flow carry you. Ancient sages and modern science agree. The art of not trying might just be your superpower. Now, let's shift gears and zoom westward, where the vibe's a little different. Welcome to the land of hustle, where skyscrapers touch the clouds, coffee shops never close, and the mantra is go, go, go. The Western world loves action. The American dream screams it. Work hard, climb the ladder, and you'll make it big. From the Renaissance, with its explosion of art and exploration, to the Industrial Revolution's non-stop factories, to Silicon Valley's hustle 24/7 culture, we've built a shrine to doing. Social media? It's a highlight reel of busyness post. Like, hustle, repeat. Don't get me wrong, this drive has fueled insane progress. We've got cars, computers, and cat videos on demand. But there's a dark side, and it's sneaking up like a shadow. Ever feel like you're running on a hamster wheel, sweating buckets but going nowhere? That's the cult of constant work. We're always on, checking emails at midnight, juggling 10 tasks, and bragging about how little we sleep. I'm so busy has become a badge of honor, like a gold star for exhaustion. But here's the cost. Burnout's no longer a buzzword, it's a crisis. The World Health Organization calls it a syndrome: emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and feeling like you're running on empty. Chronic stress is our uninvited guest, crashing our health, our mood, and our relationships. Studies link it to heart problems, anxiety, and a life that feels like a grey, endless slog. And get this, all that busyness doesn't even make us better. Multitasking? It's a myth. We're juggling chainsaws, dropping half of them, and calling it productivity. Creativity and focus suffer when we're sprinting non-stop. Let's tell a story. Meet Tom, a tech startup guy. He's living the dream 80-hour weeks, pitching to investors and surviving on ramen and Red Bull. He's crushing it, or so he tells Instagram. But one day, he crashes, literally. He falls asleep at his desk, knocks over his energy drink, and shorts out his laptop. His doctor says, "Tom, you're a burnout statistic." Tom's stunned. He thought more effort meant more wins, but he's tired, cranky, and his code's a mess. The hustle cult promised glory, it delivered a wreck. Here's the irony. In our quest to do more, we often achieve less. We're so busy chasing the next milestone, we miss the view. And deep down, there's a quiet question. What's this all for? Money? Likes? A pat on the back? The Western world's done wonders with its drive, but it's time for a reality check. We're not machines, and life's not a race to the most stress. Maybe, just maybe, the ancients have a trick up their sleeves to save us from ourselves. So, how do we bring Wu Wei into our frantic, phone-pinging, deadline-driven lives? It's not like we can ditch our jobs, move to a mountain, and meditate with the squirrels. But here's the good news. Wu Wei isn't about escaping life, it's about navigating it smarter. Let's channel Lao Tzu and some practical strategies to tame the chaos, ease the stress, and still get stuff done effortlessly. Ready? Here's your roadmap. The grace of letting go. Lao Tzu said, "By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go." Profound, right? In our world, this means knowing when to hit pause. You're stuck on a work problem, brain fried, staring at a screen like it's a brick wall. Instead of banging your head against it, step back. Take a walk, grab a snack, or do nothing for 10 minutes. It's not giving up. It's giving space for clarity. Ever notice how your best ideas pop up in the shower? That's Wu Wei whispering. Let go, and the answer flows. In relationships, it's gold too. You're in a spat with your spouse, both digging in, tempers hot. Instead of forcing your point, try this. Breathe, listen, and wait. Let the heat cool. Maybe they'll see your side, or you'll find a compromise. At work, stop micromanaging. Delegate a task, trust your team, and watch them surprise you. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strategy, and it works. Cultivating patience. Lao Tzu nailed it again. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Trees grow slow, seasons shift on their own time, and the stars don't rush. Life has a rhythm, and Wu Wei says sync up. Patience isn't sitting on your hands, it's trusting the process. You send a big proposal and check your email every 5 seconds. Stop, let it breathe. Give your new coworker time to settle in, not hounding them to get it day one. Personal goals? Growth takes time. Your fitness plan, your side hustle, your dream of learning guitar. Don't force it, nurture it. Story time. Lisa's a mum and a manager, always rushing kids to soccer, reports to finish. She's stressed, snapping at everyone. One day, she tries Wu Wei. She stops hovering over her son's homework, lets him figure it out. At work, she waits a beat before jumping in to fix a team issue. Guess what? Her kid aces the assignment, her team solves the problem, and Lisa's not a frazzled mess. Patience. Friendsit's your secret weapon against anxiety. The paradox of over-effort. Here's Lao Tzu again. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are you'll cut your hand. Hilarious and true. We think more effort, longer hours, more tasks wins the day. But push too hard, and you snap. Over-preparing for a speech? You're a nervous wreck, stumbling over words. Pressuring a friend to open up? They clam up. Wu Wei says, ease up, do your best, then trust. Work smart, focus on key tasks, not a million. In love, let the bond grow naturally, not forcing a timeline. Balance effort and ease, and you'll avoid the cut hand of burnout. These aren't just tips, they're a lifestyle. Wu Wei fits our modern mess deadlines, drama and all. You're not dodging action, you're refining it. Next time stress or anger hits, channel the Tao. Pause, be patient, don't overdo it. You'll find calm, clarity, and yet results, all with less sweat. Alright, let's see Wu Wei in the wild. Across history, business, art, sports, and everyday life, people have stumbled into effortless action and struck gold. These stories, some famous, some personal, show how not trying too hard can lead to big wins. Grab a snack and let's explore the accidental genius of 3M's Post-it notes. In 1968, Dr. Spencer Silver at 3M was chasing a super strong glue. Instead, he got a weak, sticky, useless, or so he thought. He could have trashed it, obsessed with his original goal. But he let it sit, no forcing. Years later, his colleague Art Fry needed a bookmark that wouldn't slip out of his hymn book at church. Light bulb. That failed adhesive became the Post-it note, launched in 1980. Today, those little sticky squares are everywhere: offices, fridges, you name it. By not pushing a dud to fit the plan, 3M flowed into $1 billion breakthrough. The Beatles let it be. The Beatles were rock gods. But by the late 60s, they were a mass-arguing, stressed, creativity stalled. Paul McCartney was fraying, trying to force the band back on track. Then, one night, he dreamed of his late mother Mary saying, "Let it be." He woke up, stopped pushing, and let the music flow. The result? The iconic song and album Let It Be masterpiece born from surrender. They didn't wrestle the chaos, they rode it, and the world still sings along. Wu Wei with a guitar riff. Roger Bannister's 4-minute mile. Before 1954, running a mile under 4 minutes was impossible. Athletes trained harder, pushed longer, and failed. Enter Roger Bannister, a medical student and runner. Instead of overtraining, he went lean-focused, quality sessions, not endless grind. He rested smart, trusted his rhythm. On May 6, 1954, he ran 3:59.4, smashing the barrier. No brute force, just aligned effort. Bannister's mile wasn't just a win, it was Wu Wei in sneakers, proving less can be more. Julia's unplanned Italian adventure. Julia, a marketing pro, planned a solo trip to Italy Museum, every meal, scheduled to the minute. Day 2 in Venice, a gust of wind snatches her itinerary. Phone dead, no Wi-Fi, panic mode on. But then, she laughs, shrugs, and lets Venice lead. She wanders alleys, stumbles into a hidden cafe, hears an opera singer in a courtyard, and chats with locals over gelato. No checklist, just flow. Julia's trip became a love letter to life, unscripted, authentic, and pure Wu Wei. These tales span boardrooms, studios, tracks, and canals, but the lesson's the same. Forcing outcomes often flops. Flowing with the moment wins. Innovation, art, records, memories, effortless action shines through. Next time you're stuck, think of Spencer, Paul, Roger, or Julia. Let go a little and watch the magic unfold. We've journeyed far, friends, from the stress and fury of modern life, through the wisdom of Lao Tzu and the East, to the flow state and real-world wins. In a world obsessed with hustle where busyness is a trophy and exhaustion's a flex, the gentle call of Wu Wei feels like a rebel yell. The art of not trying isn't about quitting, it's about redefining the game. It's a dance, not a brawl, a chance to achieve everything you want with grace, ease, and maybe a chuckle or two. This isn't a free pass to be lazy. Goals still matter: your career, your relationships, your dreams. But Wu Wei flips the script. Success isn't about how hard you push, but how well you flow. It's the river, not the bulldozer, the breeze, not the hurricane. Lao Tzu, Zen masters, and even modern science tell us, align with the moment, let go of force, and life opens up. You'll find peace, nail that project, mend that fight, all without losing your sanity. Let's get real. Your swamped work's piling up, your kids yelling, your phone's a notification circus. Old you might grit your teeth, power through, and collapse. New you. Try this. Pause when you're stuck. Take a walk. Breathe deep. Be patient. Don't rush the email reply or the big goal. Ease off the effort, do your part, then trust the process. You're not slacking. You're flowing like water, carving your path without a sledgehammer. Here's my challenge. Test Wu Wei this week. Next time stress or anger hits, don't fight it. Step back, like Sarah the designer, and see what clicks. Let a plan unfold, like Julia in Venice, and savor the surprise. Share your story, tell us in the comments about that time letting go led to a win, or how not trying turned the tide. Maybe you aced a test by relaxing, or found love by stopping the chase. We're in this together, weaving a tapestry of effortless living. In the end, the art of not trying isn't a trick, it's a way of life. It's the quiet truth that whispers through ancient texts, modern labs, and your own heart. Less force, more flow. So, let's embark on this adventure, carving paths with the gentle glow of Wu Wei. Redefine success, find joy, and achieve everything effortlessly. The universe is cheering, and so am I. Let's flow, friends, and see where the river takes us.